It's Tuesday, July the 30th. And here is a document that I prepared for a public servant in British Columbia here. So let me read this. Because you did go in and listen to that call, didn't you? That call that I made to the BC Ombudsperson last week, of which I have to record, because I have to prove to every single one of you that the public servants here, federally and provincially, are unemployable. So they have to work for the beast, because they couldn't get jobs anywhere else. So let's see here. Page 1. I am so sick beyond tired of a moral, blind, deaf public servant compulsive liars. Listen up, Mike Moss, as I am a righteous woman who is going to shove truth down the open grave hole in your face that spewed toxic poison all over me July 25th. First and foremost, you sociopath, 100% guaranteed I'm a woman taking possession of my stolen security. My property since January of 2003, in trust, House of Daly. You, Mike Moss, have zero clue what a trust is, how it operates, or how it quashes all third-party claims. Now what you see here is a portion of a 2-page trust. This is Section 4. In addition to all powers conferred by law, not legal rules, not acts, not statutes, not bylaws, not fucking bullshit, law. I give my trustee, that's the woman you're hearing, the following power to be exercised or not exercised at the discretion of my trustee for the administration of my estate and the trusts of this will. My trustee, that's me, may convert my estate or any part of my estate into money and decide how, when, and on what terms, and my trustee may keep my estate or any part of it in the form it is at my death for as long as she decides, even for the duration of the trusts in this will. This power applies even if the property is not an investment authorized under this will, a debt is owing on the property, or the property does not produce income. B. My trustee may at any time compromise, settle, waive any claim due to or due by the estate for whatever consideration and on whatever terms she decides, and extend, continue, or renew any evidence of any liability I may have as endorser, guarantor, surety, or otherwise for any liability of any person. CIBC identifies itself as a natural person. Do you now understand? One who proves to possess zero understanding, M. Moss. I am the woman who decides if any of my spouse's former contracts get paid out or not. I'm not responsible for his debts, nor is the House of Daly estate. He owns nothing once he passes, because the trust owns everything. This is determined the natural person. Yes, this is a natural person, just like the bank. Sorry, there is no such thing as the bank. There's a bunch of beasts, male monkeys and female freaks doing business as banks that owns a debt-free security located. There's my address. If you want to go look it up, go for it. I mean, fuck, everybody knows everything about my life by now, don't they? I have had to come out from being anonymous to now having everybody and their fucking dog know everything about me and my life. Because of the fucking satanic bullshit that I've been putting up with for 51 years. Fuck, I'm tired. An automobile and personal chattel for sole benefit of the spouse of the man, Jack Daly. Well, I happen to be that man's spouse. Common law spouse. Everything this natural person owns has been violently robbed by fraud and force from the real owner. That's me. I'm the real owner of the house, the automobile, the personal chattel that was in the house, and it's all gone. It's all gone. It's all been stolen. So let's just all understand, okay, that Scripture is true. It's truth. Scripture is truth. Do you ever notice that I don't talk about Bible, the Bible? I talk about Scripture. There's some Scripture in the Bible, but there's also a whole slew of traps in that Bible because my Father's trying to figure out who's who and what's what. What did Jesus say about the elect? He said that they couldn't be deceived. I don't say that because I'm trying to sound arrogant. I say that because it's taken me a long time to figure out who I am and why this world hates me and doesn't want me here. So my brother Micah, Canadian inhabitants are liars and their tongues speak deceitfully. The rich savages are violent. The Canadian citizens are so used to lying that their fucking tongues can no longer tell the truth. Yeah, the rich circus monkeys here are full of, well, poison. They're, well, I'm afraid that's the truth. I mean, I don't give a fuck who doesn't like it. I'm tired. You have no fucking idea how fucking tired I am. Here's my brother David. Psalm 50:19. Their mouths are for evil and harness their tongues for deceit. They use their mouths for evil. Right? The circus clown mouth is filled with wickedness. The tongue is literally toxic poison. Here's Isaiah, Mark, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. Now that's a lot of witnesses saying the same thing, so you know it's the truth. You know it's the truth if they're all saying the same thing. Hear this, O foolish and senseless circus monkeys, because that's exactly what they are. Humans are not people. Yes, there's righteous humans here. I've encountered some of them. My people aren't human. We have Rh negative blood. Scientists can't figure out where that blood type originates. So because, see, my brother, all of my family had the same problem when they're here, that they can't communicate with these spawn. And that causes us physical harm, every kind of harm, mental harm, physical harm, emotional harm, and spiritual harm. It causes us. That's why I can barely move. This has been going on for far too long. You know, because the spawn have to be forced to do what's right, because they're not going to do it without force. So this is exactly why I've had to come on here and say my hate is targeted from above people, living men and women. We're prosecutors. That's why we're experts in the living law. We're prosecutors. That's what we do. We've got eyes that see and ears that hear. We don't experience constructive conversations or communications with those who are from here. We just don't. And now I've had to explain to this maggot that I was speaking to last week, who doesn't have a fucking clue what it's doing or talking about. Now let's take a look at this right here. Now my spouse had a MasterCard with Scotiabank. And isn't it odd that it's Scotiabank who now holds the fraudulent mortgage for the Howe and the dentist there? $740,000 fraudulent fucking mortgage on my house. Now, I've contacted this coven after my spouse has passed away. And of course, now we're communicating with each other. Now, are they asking me to pay this MasterCard? Well, no, because my name isn't on it. I'm not a guarantor. I'm not surety. I don't have any. No. Scotiabank has got an insurance policy on every single loan, secured and unsecured. Every fucking bank does. That's how they operate. The bank risks nothing because they fucking loan nothing. Don't you understand? Well, you should. If you've been listening to me for any amount of time, I've been explaining this till I'm fucking blue in the face. As a trustee, the power of attorney for the House of Daly, unless I'm listed as, again, right, a guarantor or surety, I'm not responsible. And neither are the beneficiaries listed. That is literally Contract Law 101. No contract, no obligation to perform or pay. That's exactly why I did what I was supposed to do, and I haven't heard from them since. Oh, do you want some proof that my mortgage is paid off? Well, here it is right here. Now, this is a CIBC. This is one of the tentacles. This is one of the toxic tentacles of the criminal organization operating as CIBC. My spouse has our mortgage life insured. So when he passes away, our mortgage got paid out, as we can see here. We've completed our assessment of the above noted claim for life insurance benefits and are pleased to inform you that the claim has been approved. A check has been issued to CIBC in settlement of the above mortgage. Right? CIBC got paid out every single fucking dime of that mortgage, just like it had been paid out. We had 21 years left on that mortgage. They got paid out all of it. So how many times has that house been paid for? You know what I mean? Like, this is... Fuck, I'm telling you, I don't belong down here. This fucking bullshit is just... It's beyond the fucking pale. How everything is about the mad monkey monopoly money. Oh, and by the way, the pencil writing on here, I alerted every coven in British Columbia that my home was being stolen. And not one witch lifted a finger, which means every single witch who was contacted and didn't lift a finger is guilty of blasphemy. Do you know what that means? Blasphemy is unforgivable. You can't ever be forgiven for committing blasphemy. Okay, so let's go over this fucking again. This is what Daniel Carroll claims is a default in the mortgage. Daniel Carroll and his partners in fucking hate crimes against a widow from Kamloops and Victoria are trying to claim that a personal line of credit is a mortgage. It isn't. It never was a mortgage. It was never listed on our annual mortgage statements because it's not a mortgage. This personal line of credit is insured, and it was paid out in the fall of 2017. I was going into the bank, CIBC Broadmead branch, talking to a kid because I was taking care of my job as the trustee. At least twice when I saw that kid was looking at the account and said to me, the personal line of credit's not showing here. Yes, that's right, because the cabal has now applied to the insurance company and it's being paid out. You're not losing a fucking dime. So, Maggot Moss, let's go over this again, okay, meathead? Listen up. You, the one doing business as the BC Ombudsperson. A personal line of credit is not a mortgage, so there's never a default on my security causing foreclosure. I'm not listed as guarantor or endorser or surety for this personal line of credit. Once my spouse passed, our mortgage is paid off entirely. He no longer owns any property, as the House of Daly Trust is the owner, quashing all third-party claims, eliminating probate, as our matter is private and not public. The coven doing business as CIBC have got this insured. They lost nothing and they risked nothing ever. Take a look at this minimum monthly payment. It's $129. You don't think I would have paid that? By the way, this bill never once came to me, and I was never once asked to pay this bill after my spouse passed. All of a sudden, I'm fucking being informed that my home was being foreclosed upon. How do you like them apples? So do you know why I record the calls and then upload them? YouTube has a transcript feature. So I have proof here of what was said during that conversation with Meathead Moss. Incompetent, ignorant public servant doing business as the BC ombudsperson, the liar, not a clue what a trust is, enable power of the trustee, or how the trust protects assets. Now the BC government POS is cursed for identifying as mad, blind, and confused. That's in Deuteronomy. That's what happens when you don't read the truth on a regular basis. Listen up, male monkey. Yes, I am taking possession of my home, you foul fraud. Now, here I am, 1324. That's me speaking in trust with. So I'm explaining again that my home has been stolen and there's criminals using my stolen property. And then I hear back, well, I think with the house, and like you're just not going to get it back. I mean, I'm sorry to say that. Really, Puke? Oh, fuck, I don't think so, you fucking savage. It's been sold in foreclosure, is my understanding. And I think it's been now sold on to someone else. So, what you could be getting is if you were on title to the house at the time that it was sold, there you should be getting some equity from that, right? But again, that's not something we can really help you with. Well, no, you wouldn't be able to help me with. Fuck you. You are blind and deaf. Blind and fucking deaf. I've been explaining this for the last fucking 5 years. You see, this is exactly why this thing works for the beast. It's unemployable. It couldn't get a job anywhere else, ever. It has no transferable skills. They just keep telling this same fucking lie. They just keep spewing this all over me, this same fucking lie. Listen, bitch, I don't need to be on title. I never did. Thanks. Idiot. Oh, I don't know who would help you. To be quite honest, maybe you can get a consult from a liar to sort it out. No, bitch, I don't need a fucking liar. I'm not incompetent, I'm not incapable, and I am not an artificial person. I'm not even a fucking Canadian citizen. So why the fuck would I need to go speak to a fucking puke-spewing liar? You see what I mean about the fucking spin? Now, on April the 13th, well over 2 years ago now, I had a call. I've uploaded it here. You can go listen to it. I'm literally telling this beast to stop, repeatedly to stop. This thing is just fucking out of control with it's cursed. Andrea May, you clearly are unable to hear the truth. Title fraud is a crime happening to mortgage-free homes owned by vulnerable widows across Canada about twice a week. That's what CIBC, no such thing. BC bar members, no such thing. BC Supreme Court, no such thing. They're all male and female monkeys. You've got the male monsters and the female freaks, and they're all doing business as those criminal cabals. So that's what's happened to me. And then they just fucking kept all the money and hoped I would commit suicide, because that is the goal for me here while I'm here. Not gonna fucking happen, not ever. I'm afraid I know who I am, which makes me an expert on who the fuck you all are, which is not good news for you, I'll tell you that right now. See what I mean? Like, despite I laid out the truth for all of you, you still want to be dishonest and agree with the lies and attempts to end my life instead of actually listening and hearing. Oh, you can, right? Listen, if those fucking eyes were blind, the mind is useless. There would be no point to any of them. So this thing here wasted almost an hour of my time. And not only that, it didn't offer me any financial help out of its own profane puke pocket. It's got a house, it's got money, it's got food. It didn't give a flying fuck about me. Eh? How do you like them apples? So let's understand the spawn. Let's understand the spawn. Because I'm an expert on these fucking pukes now. I've been doing this for 51 years. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, I was born into the house of two spawn. That almost fucking ended my life when I was a little girl, and I don't talk about stuff like that. I haven't talked about that yet. I'm just beginning to process what happened to me now. It takes a while to process. Right? It's a serpent. It's a dragon eating its own tail. It just fucking spins on stupid. And let's take a look at the truth. Evil monkeys, they don't understand justice. But those who seek the truth understand it fully. You better fucking know I'm an expert on law and justice. I'm an expert on it. I've had to become an expert on it. My father doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. I got called, and all of this happening to me, losing my son, losing my home, losing all my money, being left for dead, that's called qualification. I have to be qualified. Otherwise, you shouldn't be listening to me, because you're wasting your time. And I wouldn't do that to you. If you've hit that play button and you're listening and you've stayed this long, first of all, my father wants your ear. Second of all, you have to be one of the righteous. Because this world hates me and the wicked hate me. So what does that make you then? Are you one of the righteous? Because there's only two choices to make. There's no coincidence that you listen here. The righteous care about justice for the poor, but the good have no such concern. Well, doesn't that just fucking nutshell it for you, huh? It nutshells it for me. I understand scripture. It's my native language. So here I am, making a comment on some rich dolt who is advertising on YouTube about the services it provides. So we have to be worried about the vulnerable. And orphans and widows are vulnerable. Women are vulnerable. Children are vulnerable. Mortgage-free properties are getting snatched up all the time. Right? Application and title fraud is how it happens. And then the savages steal everything. Because they're all on the same team. All the politicians, all the benchers, the fucking police, all the MLAs, all the MPs. They're all on the same team. That's why you got $100 million mortgage fraud ring happening. So twice, fraud on the court, not once but twice. Fraud on the court occurs when the judicial machinery itself has been tainted, such as when a liar, who is an officer of the coven, is involved in the perpetration of a fraud or makes material misrepresentations to the cabal. Fraud upon the court makes void the orders and judgments of that coven. So that means the forced adoption, it's going to be reversed. And this bullshit about you stealing my home and my automobile and all the money, we're going to deal with that too, but we're going to deal with that according to the common law. This is not a fucking legal proceeding. So here I've nutshelled it for these fucking assholes right here. Background: Daniel Carroll, Kamloops, BC, agent for Rico CIBC, a natural person resident of Toronto, committed application and title fraud, so two Asians could unlawfully purchase mortgage-free interest property. There's my address. There you go. Take a look. For $680,000, November 28th, 2019. 1 year to the day. Oh yes, 1 year to the day. They never even lived in my home. I am fucking homeless. Can't keep a roof over my head. I've been saddled with a storage locker fee and rent I can't fucking afford. So doing the unspeakable, and those fucking savages they never lived in my home once. I was inside my house after those two savages took over. What are they doing with the house? If I got to tell you at this point, I don't know, man. They're laundering money. They're laundering fucking money. Listen, banks don't owe you a dime. So whatever the down payment was that they put down there, when they sell that house, they have just literally fucking created who knows how much, maybe $600,000 out of thin fucking air. They're laundering listen, how many fucking media reports, how many, called the Cullen Inquiry, do we need to talk about that? It's a real problem here. So 1 year to the day, literally within 2 weeks, their two Asian buddies here purchased my home for $749. Now they listed the house for $860. You understand how that identifiable group operates? They love numbers. They love playing with numbers, and they worship the dragon. So they buy it for $680, but they listed for $860, and then they get their two buddies here got a fraudulent Scotiabank mortgage for $749 on my home, on my spouse's birthday. My spouse was born on December the 18th, and that's when it was filed. So they didn't even have it a year. At the end of November, I went to my home and I delivered a package of information of proof of claim. This is trust property. It's fucking stolen, and you need to get the fuck off my property and get these trespassers out of my house. And then I've been violently fucking assaulted since that time. So do you ever go on these websites that these satanic cults have? The federal government's got them. The provincial governments all have them. You understand that's all propaganda, right? Whatever that fucking shit says, they do the exact opposite. Take a look at this crap from the BC Ombudsperson, fucking profane puke website here, the wicked website. First of all, they're not independent. They're government employees, so that's a fucking joke. They're the voice for fairness and accountability? No, you're not. You work to make sure the public sector organizations are treating people fairly and following the rules. No, you don't. We listen to and investigate complaints about local and provincial public sector organizations. Well, there's no such fucking thing. You got a bunch of fucking sewer rats pretending to be public servants, as well as investigate reports of serious wrongdoing in the provincial government. No, actually, you don't do that either. So why do you need to lie all the time about what you do? Your work improves public services for all British Columbians? No, that's an out and out fucking lie. Yes, it is actually. So as it stands, at the end of July, the meatheads doing business as the BC Ombudsperson have aided and abetted 2 acts of fraud to murder my family. Every word on this website is just poisonous propaganda. They've proven beyond all reasonable doubt to be mental degenerates, blind to the truth as well as wholly and completely confused. That's cursed. That's what being cursed is. That's what that looks like. That's what that sounds like. Literally lawless, which translates to loveless and lifeless. Toxic. Yeah, and nothing but blah, blah, blah. That's exactly right. I've contacted the Coven repeatedly regarding unfair, abusive, torturous treatment by poisonous, putrid public servants, proving persons acting as this coven, such as Andrea May and Michael Moss, could care less about my health, welfare, safety, or the living law, which is actually the law of Canada. This is a Commonwealth country. Were you looking for some proof? Because that's all I got for you all day long. So this is 4 days before my little boy's birthday. He arrived on January the 10th. Peculiar People Day, by the way. Yeah, coincidental? No. So I've gone to this cabal here, and they did nothing for me. Nothing. Literally fucking... I even went down to the office and interviewed with these 2 filthy females who were nothing but... I never heard back from them. They don't fucking care that Canada ranks number 3 for trafficking highly marketable children. They don't care that these children disappear. They don't care. They get their fucking paycheck every 2 weeks, whether they do their job or not. We need to shut this cabal down. So this is human rights, because you see, animals have to have rules, and a human is an animal. So these are animal rules that the animals have to follow, the humans who pretend to be public services. So apparently I've got the right to equal treatment before tribunals and all of the organs administering justice. That's right. That's why there's going to be $500,000 released this week for one of multiple sexual assaults that I endured after my home was stolen. I was left destitute and homeless. The right to security of person? Fuck off. I'm not a person. That's a thing. I'm a woman. Oh, protection by the cabal against violence and bodily harm, whether inflicted by, the beast officials or by individual groups and institutions. Well, what did I just explain to you? Did you just hear what I said? I am being violently bodily harmed by literally dozens of cabals. Oh, I get to take part in the satanic cult, pretending to be government, and in the conduct of public affairs at all levels, and have equal access to public service. Isn't that odd? Because for 2 years now, that $500,000 has been withheld from me to intentionally cause me irreparable harm. Oh, let's see, what else do we have here? Because these are the fucking mad monkey rules. These are the fucking non-negotiable fucking mad monkey rules that these fucking malicious monkeys have to all follow. The fucking monsters. The right to own property. Fuck, no doubt, eh? The right to inherit? No shit. The right to freedom of opinion? Okay, well, we're the peculiar people. We don't give you opinions. We're going to provide you the truth, and the truth is not an opinion. Never has been, never will be. You ain't getting around it, man. That's it. There's nothing to argue about. Expression. Well, I'm going to express myself, all right. Okay, peaceful assembly. Okay, no. There's not a fucking time when I contact any of these fucking meatheads pretending to be public servants that are peaceful. They don't know the way of peace. They're mad animals. They're mentally ill animals. They don't understand they only understand violence. Economic, social, and cultural rights. Well, my culture does have some rights. You better fucking believe it. It sits right there in the witness box. I'm going to shove it down your fucking throats. Although I'm afraid the rule of law for all sexual assault victims across Canada is $500,000. No exceptions, no arguments, no excuses will be tolerated by persons doing business as Mike Farnworth, Katrine Conroy, Nikki Sharma, David Eby, and all profane persons acting as the court. And you doing business as the BC Ombudsperson. Because remember, look at this. This is from the provincial court wicked website here. Why does the rule of law matter? Well, fucking, why don't you tell us why it matters? And before I read this out here, you better know that what they're doing is they're mocking victims here. All these pukes are mockers, mindless mockers. They mock those they destroy. They do it every day, all day. They're mockers. Without the rule of law, you could be in prison without reason. Well, they do that here. They do it fucking all the time. Without the rule of law, the satanic cult can seize your property and remove your children arbitrarily. Well, fuck, they do that all the time too. Isn't that remarkable? Without the rule of law, a wealthy weasel could escape the consequences of intentionally injuring their victim for no reason. Well, fuck, that happens here every day too. Huh. The rule of law matters because it seeks to treat all persons fairly and equally. Okay, so right there you know it's bullshit, because persons aren't living. A person is a thing. You're either an artificial person or you're a natural person. And neither of them have standing. Because they're not alive. They don't have a mind. That's why there's never going to be a meeting of the minds between my people who are living and those who are from this world who are fucking dead. No meeting of the minds, no contract. Canadian courts. Well, there's no such thing. There's a bunch of witches pretending to be the court, strive to protect individual rights by enforcing the rule of law. No, they don't. The requirement that our courts follow the rule of law remains a fundamental principle of Canada's democracy. Well, democracy is a form of Satanism. So the official religion of Canada is Satanism. And the foundational rule of Satanism is do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. That's the foundational that's the rule of law here. Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. So have we had enough yet? Because I have. So it's late and I'm tired. So this was attached to an email that I sent out, but I'm not going to go into that email, which I could do. I'm just going to post this, and then, well, who listens is who listens.